Wow, what do we say? Here we are again. It's Wednesday. It's a little bit dark outside, but that's okay. Nice and warm inside. So those of you that are worried about Leslie only wearing socks, she is on a shopping spree at the moment and she's getting a little bit crazy. The amount of jumpers that she's possibly put in that basket is a bit mental. But do you know what? As long as she's happy, that's okay. So I'm leaving her to that today while she's running machines. John's downstairs working on diaries, of course. And I thought we'd take a little time out and do a tile. So here we go, tile 185. Goodness me. It's not going to be that long now till we get to tile 200. And I think it's definitely a day for cake, isn't it? So what do I have today? I've got a regular tile, although my actual sample tile has got a tiny tile mixed in with it. I'm just going to keep with it quite simple today, just so you can see where it goes. But I'll show you that one at the end as well. So, okay. I thought today, I'm going basics. I do have some pencils with me just in case. But I wanted to sort of give you a little bit of an idea. Sometimes you get that thing and you think, I want to do a tile, but I don't want to focus too much. I don't want to plan it. And I just want to see what comes. That's what I thought we'd do today with this tile. So if we're ready, I'm going to go straight in with pen. And I'm going to aim to cover the whole tile if I can. Let's see how we get on. And of course, filling the whole tile, it does mean that sometimes having a little bit of space makes all the difference too. So you're allowed to do that if you want to. You don't have to completely fill it. So, all right, here we go. Starting with a bubble then. Okay, I'm going to now make it a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. So I'm going to start with, doesn't matter which sort of side or which place, I'm going to start on the bubble and I'm going to create just a small little curve like that. Oh, it's all lonely. And then if I bring another one from here, touching, make it a little bit bigger. You see? Okay, next one. Oh, hi everybody, it's lovely to see you. Well, you know what I mean, see you. Okay. It might be worth knowing, thank you everybody for sending in your tiles for Susan. I've made a wonderful mosaic, it looks fab. So I'll get that over to her husband as soon as I can. And then of course, as promised, I'll post a photo, but I'll actually add it as a download on my website. So if you want to download it, of course it's not going to cost anything, completely free. But if you want to download it, you can do that from there. I'll let you know when that is. Okay. All right, so you see I'm getting a little bit bigger each time. It's got a little bit wider as well. And I'm just taking my time and just sort of working the way around. See, I'm going along, touching it, and then coming out again. You see, it's not filling the whole tile, but it's, it's going a bit of a way. There we are. And then again in with this one. Don't panic if your lines aren't straight. As you can see, look, I've got a wobble there. Mine aren't. It's fine. Absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm going to make this one a little bit wider now because I want to get round. There we go. Now you see here, it's sort of going to fall off the tile. That's fine. And just going to keep it going. So that's going to sort of pretend. And then this one, you can imagine it going all the way around. And again. See, just coming off. If you want to add this to a page later, then you've got the ideal sort of time to do so here. So again, I'm going to come in about, just going to split halfway. So I've got this line here, I've got this little gap. Not to worry, what I want to do is I'm going to just add in a little curve that way, you see? And then let's repeat that. And you see I'm doing a double line, just so it's a little bit thicker there. There we go. And there's it again, sort of going off the page a little bit. There we are. Okay. So where do we go from there, I wonder? Let's have a look. Gonna create some little bubbles. Let's just make it a little bit smaller so you can see it. There you go. It doesn't matter where we go from. I'm gonna choose one of these gaps here. Put a bubble in. There we go. And then let's have one here. I think I'm going to sort of run it down to this side. So this is where if you're not sure what you want to do, or you don't want a set design, you can sort of build this as you go. So easy done. No rights, no wrongs. It's okay. I'm going to put like a sort of a letter S in there. You can do it that way, or you can do it that way. So it's like a backwards one. And I'm going to use the bubble to help me go round and then along and back in. And yeah, you could go from one to the other, but I think going round it just sort of helps you to work your way round and get a better curve. So let's do the same here. Look, sail round, along and back in. Sort of feels like you've done a full step then, doesn't it? There we are, see. And again. I'm just going to pretend that one's going down there. Alright? So I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to sort of kick out a little bit more and come back in. And again. Round, a little bit more. So many things you can do with this particular tangle. Of course, you can join them together, make little squares, create a whole grid. But we're just going to sort of work with a little bit of one there. Okay, we've done that bit. I'm going to add a bobble in the middle there. And then smaller each side. And smaller. And if you can fit it in, little one there as well. Alright, let's do that on this one as well. Now if you want to do it this way, do all that side, then all that side you can do. And again, if you can't fit all of them in, just put in as many as you can. Absolutely fine. Okay. Same on this one. Just getting a little bit smaller each time. I can't quite, oh go on, tiny little dot there. Okay. All right. Next thing then, let's see. What if we took, I'm going to go a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. There you are. What if we took this line here and joined it there? There we go. And it's sort of crying out, isn't it, for little stripes. See how I put a bit of a curve in. Right, let's do the same there. Again, sort of little stripes. And repeat that. So you might have done more of these, you might have done less. But it's sort of given me a little bit of shape to work to. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fill in every other one of those, so I've got a bit of a stripe. You sort of have to. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Look at that difference it makes. Let's do this one as well. So how's your week been so far? I had a visit on Monday. My little friend Caitlin came over and her sister Maddie and tangled me a lovely framed picture for the gallery. So I've got a lovely little set of angel wings she did for me. Caitlin, by the way, is 9. So that'll be in the gallery if you're ever up here. Come and have a look at that. It's beautiful what she's done. It's really pleased with it. She's done just a great job. Okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna add a little curve there as well, I think. You see, in between the two. And then let's just, little aura, that's just going around the line that I've just done. And let's come on up, create a little bit of a loop. You see, I always work from that middle point and back out again. And then it sort of balances out the shapes. Let's put a little line in each one. There we go. So I'm gonna do the same here. Look, line and that little aura come up from the middle. 1, 2 loops that way, and of course I'm gonna 1.5 that way. That's fine. Oh, it's lovely to. We've got hello Shirley. It's lovely that people welcome you. We're a lovely little group here, a lovely little community. And if you've got any questions, please ask. Even if not on this page, later you can ask on the Sanntangle group page. All right, like that. Let's have a look at where we're at. Okay. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? It's just sort of randomly come out there. It's lovely. I like that one. Okay, so speaking of random then, let's go in with a curve. I'm going to sort of follow this line as a bit of a guide here. So there we go. See, it kicks off there. I'm going to come on in and I'm going to put a big curve. Stop there, look. Pretend I'm going round, underneath, and back round again. All right. So let's just sort of thicken up that space there a little. Just that curve. Let's go a little bit thicker there. And I'm going to put a little bit around here as well, just so we can, so it gives it a little bit of depth there. There we go. It's nice that. And then remember we did those little sort of half sort of semicircular shapes there. Let's go a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to do those just on the edge of that shape too. You see, I'm just working my way around, adding in. Might get a little bit bigger just as I go around there and back along. See, I've done half for one there, so it looks like it's going underneath all the way around. There we go. So we get to nothing. Okay. Let's go a little bit bigger there. And I'm just gonna put a little bubble in between each one. Of course, there we go. Just filling in all those as well. You see? So it gives it a little bit of a pearl effect, doesn't it? Let's go back out again. I'm going to do another one of those. Let's have a look. Let's turn it around a little bit. I'm going to do one this side. And I'm going to use sort of this, I think, to come off. So along and around. Okay. And again, let's just add a bit of weight to the bottom section there. Just fill that in a bit. This would look nice on an inked tile, wouldn't it? This is a great one. If your shape's a little bit wobbly around there, you can go ahead and change it a bit by adding this extra sort of level to it. Just gonna fill that in and work it round. There we go. So again, start with those little bubble shapes. There we are, just following it along. There we go. Now, of course, when you're doing this, there's no set pattern. So if you feel that you want to put 2 or 3 of these in, you can do that. If you only want one, it's entirely up to you. And there we go. Just again, adding that little bobble in there. See, just so we can, you know, it's nice to have them looking a little bit uniform, isn't it? There we are. Okay. Look at that, it's quite nice, isn't it? It's amazing how it sort of changes shape a little bit. See, I've got a bit of sort of space here. I'm going to create one of these sort of little flowers here, but of course it's going to be a bit bigger, isn't it? So I'm going to choose where I've got a bit of space to work to. I'm going to choose this one here, put a little curve, and then little aura just as before, and then I'm coming up from the middle and then up and along. See, a little bit of a bigger loop there and along, and then same on this side. Okay, it might even go a few more so it looks like it's going underneath, and then instead of just one line I'm going to put two in, like a little V. There you go, let's go a little bit bigger so you can see. There you go. And same on there, a couple of little lines. See, you're not going to see much of one there. Couple of lines. Okay, that's nice, isn't it? It just sort of fits in there. So let's have a look at this while we're here. I'm gonna put a little dot in, sort of centre-ish there, and I'm going to create a bit of a swirl. Now just beware, because I'm going to tangle into this, so we don't want it too close together. You see, just stop when you think that you need to. If your curve sort of feels like it's going to go off a little bit, see, just sort of work it off and back in. There we go. Excuse me. There we are. Bit of a swirl filling that space. So what we're going to do in here, I think, I'm going to put a little sort of stripy shape. Again, not too thick with this one. See, I'm just going in and adding sort of a curved line. Let's work our way around that swirl. You see, keeping that curve going the same way each time. There you go. And again. And again. So I'm just sort of working my way. Now, of course, you can turn your tile when you want to. So, however you want to do it. But I'm going to keep it sort of steady so you can see what I'm doing. You see that curve goes the same way every time. There we are. Just no rush. Take your time. Of course, if you've got a thicker pen, you can come in and use a thicker pen to do this. I'm not trying to match them up with the ones below. I'm just sort of leaving a little bit of a space and then filling it in. Okay. Oh, not to forget this bit here and that bit there. Okay. So what if we added a little bit of a shape? Let's go with that sort of little diamond shape, or sort of a square on its side. And let's just add one of those, sort of in the middle of each of these shapes here. There we go. They don't have to be the same size, it's entirely up to you. There we go, just sort of filling that in. So is anybody going to Craftopia this weekend? Yeah, should be a good weekend. I know there's Leslie and I are going, and Pauline Wheeler is going, and 2 Sarahs. So there should be some good classes. I'm sure there's going to be lots planned. I know I'm all ready and geared up to go, so a few new things that I'm going to be teaching there. So, okay. Alright, so I'm just going to put little, if I can, dots either side. Oh, I'm going to put those there, see, just dots either side, only if you can fit it. If not, not a problem. There we are. Just it sort of affects your eyes a little bit when you're looking at this one, because you start to sort of really focus and it draws you in, doesn't it? But I like the paradox that we've been using for the tile swap this time. I've got some fab tiles coming in. I'm impressed. Some of the ideas are really good. So you've got time, you've got plenty of time for that still. So get going. See, I'm working my way. Look, I'm losing track. I'm going to do that one as well. And the dots make it look different. Now here I am actually putting dots because it's too small to do anything else with. There we go. I think I should do that one there. There we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got a little gap here. So let's do an aura. So I'm just going to follow around the shape that I've got there. There we go, little aura. And I'm just going to add some little bubbles in there, just different sizes, just to fill it in. And any of the gaps, let's just fill in with a bit of black ink. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got a few bits filled in there. What if we look at this side here, this bit? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in, I'll go a bit bigger so you can see it. There we go. And I'm going to create a bit of a little loop coming back round, see? Sort of a bit on its side. And let's put one this side as well. You see it's going underneath, so you're not going to see all of that. I'm going to put a little line and a dot in each one. And then of course, I'm going to go in between those two. There we go. Into there. Okay. So I think a few of you have been sending us a few tips in about brushes. You've seen our new transport. We've got some broomsticks. We do keep threatening we're going to upgrade Leslie's by putting a ribbon on it. But it's just working out which colour. Probably red. And then at least we'll know whose is whose. She just wants something a bit go faster on it. Okay, filled that space in then. Now I know if anybody on here is listening thinking, what on earth is she talking about? We do know that Sanntangle HQ has a little bit of a Harry Potter theme going on. So the gallery there is not just a gallery of tangled art, it's a gallery of all things Harry Potter too. So we have had a few new additions to our little hoard. So you know, coming back for classes next month in December, you'll be spotting a few new things that we've brought in. So always. There we go. So just again, I've done that little aura, kind of filled that space in with those little bubbles. Just making it round. There we go. And yeah, I'm going to do the same on this one here, being that there's a little space. Let's fill it in. Okay, just going to fill in again with bubbles. Okay, and again, any space, I'm just going to fill in with a little bit of ink. Okay, all right. You see, I've got a couple of little gaps here. I'm just going to fill them in with a bit of, see that one's going to, not because it's going underneath with that one. There we go. All right, so let's have a look at where we're at. Ah, okay. What about this space here? Let's bring another aura in. You see, I'm just following the lines and creating a shape just from what I've got around me. Okay. I'm not gonna put bubbles in that one though. I think I'm just gonna go in with sort of stripes this way. There we go. And then stripes this way. There we are, see? And then just in between each one, you know where the lines cross, just put a little dot. And there we go. Even just a little one on the edges if you feel it needs it. Just to work your way around there. Okay. so let's have a look. I've got this space here. See, I'm turning it around a lot because it's all about looking at the space you have and working out what you want to do with it. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to pull off this line, and I'm going to create sort of quite an elongated little heart shape. You see, let's go a bit bigger. And then up and along and in there. And then let's do this one. And let's put in another one. So you see I'm going left to right each time. Just sort of filling in those little gaps. You see they're sort of slightly elongated. Oh, Sandra, I keep meaning to get some Zoom classes in. I will as soon as I sit down and look at my dates. There you are. Just working my way around. There we are. See, it just sort of all falls back into that bottom little curve there. Now, when I'm getting to the top here, I'm going to come in and put a lovely little curl in there. And fill in that section there. Okay. And then, of course, I'm going to do another, come in this way. You see how I've actually come in and thickened that line up quite a bit? And let's have a little loop at the top there. And then either side, I'm going to get I've got 3 in. See how many you can get. Okay. And again, I'm just going to sort of follow through and put those little lines with little bubbles in. It's just, we're doing random, of course. We've got lots of tangles in here, but it's nice to come back and keep a little bit of consistency with things, just so it sort of stays in with what we're doing. Okay, so got a little space down here. Just gonna create that little shape again, known as an aura around. So you've got choice here. You can come in with bubbles. Oh, there's a little one there. Look. I'm gonna fill that. Or you could use your grid just as before. So I think I'm going to come in with a grid, but I'm going to curve it slightly. There we are, one way. And then the other. Okay. And then add in little bubbles in there. Just, it's kind of nice, isn't it? That's a nice one to do. Once you've got that grid, you can do any shape and fill it in. Alright, so you see we've got these little gaps around the outside here. I'm going to come in with a little line. Let's go a bit bigger. Sandra, yeah, absolutely. I think Zoom classes are important. Certainly now we're sort of used to doing things online. And as much as I know we all would love to get to class, I know we can't all make it. It's a completely different experience coming to a class, as we all know. But yeah, I will sort some Zoom classes out. Yeah, I'm just sort of trying to get in front of myself with everything. And as soon as I can get myself sorted with that, I'll get some sorted. There we go. You see, I'm just doing these little lines, and then I'm adding a little droplet on the end, and then little droplets down the sides, and just then joining them to the little line there. So I'm going to do one this side as well. Okay, down there. Just sort of join them. You can make these as long as you like, but of course let's put in a little zinger, especially for Julie. I think she's having a good day today, so I saw earlier. And there we go. Alright, I'm going to do another one of them. I'll slow it down so you can see what I'm doing. Line with a bubble. And then I'm going to do a line around it. Not all the way around, you see. And then getting smaller and smaller. You see how it's, as it gets small, it starts to sort of change shape a little. There we go. Little curve with a bubble on. Just give it a little bit of a leaf type of thing. See? And we're going to get one in there as well, I reckon. Just a little one. There we are. Let's have a look at it so far. There you go. See all that side's done? Let's have a look. All around those sides. So we've done lots of different styles, but it's having these dots and lines to sort of all come together, and it gives you that sort of impression that we're still working on the same tile. So okay, let's have a look at this one then. I'm going to just, I think, create a little aura again. See, just drawing around the shape. Okay. And then I'm going to start from sort of, yeah, I'm going to start from the top of here. I'm going to create a little sort of V shape, see? And then I'm going to follow that shape all the way around. Sort of using, doesn't matter if there's different sizes, just sort of give them a general idea. You're sort of getting 3-ish onto one of those petal loops. And if we try and make them completely uniform, then it doesn't look as hand drawn, does it? There we go. Okay, let's go a little bit bigger. So each one now, I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to create a line inside, and then there we go. And then I'm going to do a little loop with a loop either side. So let's do the same here. Now if you want to go ahead and put all of these lines in first, you can do. I think I'm going to go and do each one as I go, because then I don't have to move my tile as much. Alright, that one there. In we go. See those little loops? I know it's really thin there, but that's fine. I've still got it in. Just making up the rest of the design. There we are. And then this one. Same again. And then this one. Just add in those little loops. And along this one. It's amazing how the shape changes and how, you know, you look at what space you've got and what fits in there. It's nice not having to think too much about what you're going to do, or, you know, if you want to just try a tangle, just a little one, just to see how it's going to work. So I'm just going in with little bobbles. There you go, see? One there. Okay. Right. There we go. Just adding a little dot on each one. It's lovely, isn't it? So let's move that a little bit. Oh, I know, Chris, we don't want to think too much. Let's put a little line in. A little line in. There you go. Little curve. And then I'm going to put a little bubble on the end. Okay? And then along. And along. Okay. And then along. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just sort of filling the space in with these little bubbles. Just, let's put one then in. Now I can decide to stop there, or I can take it around and go to the other side of that space. There we are. So it sort of takes up quite a lot of it there. So there's a lot of different tangles in here today, a lot of things that we're getting in, but it's nice to sometimes just, you know, have a little play with these, just to see where it goes. Oh no. It's amazing how the noise sort of travels around here. The doorbell sounds loud, doesn't it, when you're here, but when you're downstairs and you've got the machinery running, you really need it to be loud enough to hear. So there we go. So I'm just sort of filling in whatever space I've got there. There we go. Let's have a look at where we're at. Okay, not bad at all. I'm going to do another aura, again, just following the shape, just around this tangle here. You see, just sort of creating that. I'm going right off the ends. There you go, see, right off the end. Because I'm going to bring in a thicker pen and I'm going to fill that with black ink. There we go, see? So it's just a little bit different. And of course, I don't want the ink on my board. Let's have a look what we've got going on here. There we go, I've got a brush pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in the darker tile. There we go. Just put that over the top. I'm working on the back, see, so you'll not see it. And then just going to fill in along there. There we go. It's quite nice having a brush, but if you haven't got one, it's fine. You can use your pencil, even if you've not got a pen, or whatever colour you want to use. What's your choice. But I'm going to use this with the next bit of filling in as well, so there we go. Really it quite quickly, and it's quite a lot of coverage, so of course it's not putting any pressure on your thinner pen. Okay, see? And I think I'm just going to do just a little bit around here too. There we go, just around those little leaf shapes. Now you could come back in and go over the top of some of this with a white gel pen. There we go. Oh, do a bit there. Didn't mean to, but I will. Okay, let's have a look then. So quite a bit done there, I think. I just want to come back and work on this area here now. I'm not going to do a massive amount to it, but it does need a little bit of work. So I'm just going to pick on every other one. So here we go. And I'm coming straight in with the brush. Let's go a little bit bigger. And I'm going to put these lovely little curves in, so you can see what I'm going to do with this, which is why I'm sticking with the thicker pen. There we go. And I'm just going to fill in each one as I go. So this one. And of course, if you wanted to, when you've done this, you could add colour, as we've done that before, by inking your tile. Whether you use your brush pens, whether you use watercolour, or whether you actually use ink pads. You could do that, or you could just leave it monochrome. You could add an accent colour. We might do that. See what time we're on. You see here, look, I've got this little, I'm just going to come in with the narrow pen and just sort of neaten that edge up a little. There you go. But it doesn't matter so much. Then I'm going to leave one, and then I'm going to add stripes into this one. And of course, I'm just going to bring that back, because I just want to fill the edge of that one there. And of course this one. Alright, and this one. I'll come back and neaten that up in a little bit. There's no rush. See, same sort of here. There we go. So I might as well stick in with what I've got so far. There we are. Same here. Okay.
Sorry, Master Elf was busy.
Oh, late for my cup of tea. There you go. And just filling each one in. To be honest, I didn't notice. Just tangling away. There. See here, this one, I'm just going to sort of make a smaller one there because it's nice to have. I've got one here, look, and then I've got one that's not filled in here, so I might as well try and keep that going. You don't have to, but I just think, being that I've done the others that way. And of course, when you've got your pen and you're inking in a lot, it's sort of easy to do, isn't it? You can fill it as you go. Alright, so you're just working it down. There we are. And then this one, just work it round. Okay, here we are. Just filling in those little bits. That one there. And again, I'm going to come and neaten these little edges off in a bit. Saves me keep swapping pens. There's no rush, no worries. Oh, the last one, quite little there. There we go. So I'm just going to swap over pens. As I say, just any of those edges, I'm just going to come and neaten them up. You know, sometimes it's nice to come in with that fine liner and just sort of define it, isn't it? There we go. Same on this one, look. Okay, and that one. They're just sort of in the corners there. Giving it that little curve that makes it look good. There we are, just finishing that. And of course, because it's the same kind of pen, it's the same black. I don't know, so many blacks, they're all different. While I've got this pen in hand, I'm just going to come round now and I'm just going to redefine those edges. So that just means I'm going to come around and I'm just going to go over it a couple of times, you see? Let's do this one. There we are. And then this one. There's no point with this one, of course, because it's all black anyway. Even where we, you know, we did the aura, I'm going to ignore that a bit and just fill those couple little spaces there. That's it. Okay. All right, let's get some shading in here. See what it's gonna look like. So let's take that one out of the way. I'm going to start with the middle where we started with that bubble and add the familiar little sort of smirk on there, little sort of smile look. And then I'm going to go either side of these, so up there and there. You see, let's go a bit bigger then. So I'm going to do the same on all of those. And this one here. You see, you can go over the black, it's fine. It's going to give it a little bit of a silver finish. You see, you can sort of just see it. Yeah. So that's absolutely fine. There we are. Just because I'm trying just do it both sides and not get any in the middle if I can help it. And there. This one here. And there. Don't worry, by the way, if you're not keeping up with me, if you're trying to tangle along, I've got to go a little bit quicker because of getting everything in. You can always rewind it back later. You see, I'm just putting now a bit of pencil down one side of each of those spaces that don't have any tangle in them at all. Just one side. And then here we go again, this one. And this one. Even this one here. Okay. So then I come to, I've got my swirl here. I'm going to add some pencil to either side of that original swirl line. Alright, either side. So I'm working it both sides as I go. You can do one side then the other if you like. But I'm just going to do it all at the same time. And of course, don't forget you can turn your tile around. So, there we go. Okay. So, working on the next little section, I've got my little flower. I'm just going to add a little bit either side there. And then all the way around the bottom of the petals. And then just on the edge there. Okay. Alright, my little loop shapes. I'm just going to work in the bottom of each one. There we go. Again, I'm not trying to colour in, it's just about putting some of that ink down all the way around the outside of those little grids. I think the bubbles, a little bit across the top, they're quite small, so you're not going to get much in, see? Okay, next bit, I'm just going to create a line just around that swirl. Okay, and then a little bit at the bottom of the hearts. Now there's no set way for this, you can shade this however you like. It's just that I like to mix it up a little bit. You see I'm doing the same though with the flower, top and bottom, a little bit at the sides. And then of course we've got these little bubbles. Oh sorry, there you go, little smirk. And again I'm just going to see if I can get a little bit of pencil either side. It's quite a combination of tangles today, isn't it? It's a lot going on, so you know, you can do it however you feel. You say if you want to just ink the whole thing, if you want, that's fine. Okay, let's just do these top and bottom. And of course sometimes you might want to shade and then come in straight away with your tortillon and do it a little bit at a time. But today we're sort of holding off the finished shading bit. We're getting all the pencil in first, so it's going to look a little bit crazy and rough around the edges. But persevere with it. There we go, see around the outside of that swirl. These ones, just going to get a little bit of pencil. Let's see, oh, I missed that one. Just sort of around. It doesn't matter which side, as long as they get a little bit. And then here, I'm just going to come around the shape. Just not worried about what's underneath there. Okay. Now, I'm on purpose not showing you all of it because this is where we can now spend some time with the tortillon and put some shading in. Then we'll see what it looks like when it's done. So here we go. Just very gentle application, very little pressure. Of course, that depends on the tile you're using, doesn't it? Just give it a little bit of a softness. And then, of course, we worked on these stripes. Doesn't matter again where you start. What I'm going to do is just create a little bit of a swirl. Okay, just sort of nice and gentle, up and down. See, sometimes you go up and down, you don't quite get it. Depends on, again, your tile. You might want to swirl, and this just sort of starts it off. You see how it started to move it? But you've got a little bit of a wavy line going back over then. Softens it off a little bit. See, I've only done part of it. Whereas this is in the middle. The plain ones, it's one side. There you go. Same here. There you go. And same again, like sort of working it round, but not all the way. Little bits on either side. And then of course, down the side there. Same along here. Just needs a little bit of guidance there just to get it going, and then of course up and down. There we are. It gets sort of lighter and lighter and fades off. Okay. So just repeating that process. Okay, so I'm going to pick the pace up just a little bit now. As you can see what I've been doing there. Alright, see, just working it in. Same with this one. Just a little pointer that Friday, obviously Leslie and I are going to crafting at Craftopia, so we're going to have to leave a bit earlier, so if it's okay with all of you, we're going to move the live to 12 o'clock instead of 2. So we'll still do one, of course, but it's just going to be a little bit earlier. And of course, it's going to have to be the Halloween one, because yes, it's getting to that point. I can remember last year's Halloween one. There you go. Is that where we introduced Bob the Spider? I can't remember now. Okay, see here, I'm just adding a little bit of softness to the edge of each of those petals. And then a little bit in the middle. And again, I want to leave a white gap in the middle if I can. Swirl, same again. I'm just going to work it so it softens both sides. See, I'm doing like a little zigzag. But I want to leave a little bit of a white highlight in the middle. There we go. Same with this one. Just sort of work it round. See, that's the edge anyway. There we go. Alright, and then just sort of finish it off. But I've still got, you see that white gap in the middle? Okay, come into our little loops again. Just sort of soften it off, but leave a little bit at the top without any. There we go. Now you can always come back and do an extra layer if you want to, but your choice. You can do a lighter version and then build it up. But you can always add more if you want to. Of course, if you find it's a little bit too dark, which I must admit I've never done that, never found it too dark, you can come in and rub it out. Of course, it's only pencil after all. See, same again, like just like the loops. I'm just softening the edge, trying not to fill the whole shape. There we go. Okay, and then flowers again. Just be careful, you want to keep a highlight in the middle if you can. These shapes, half and half. See, bit that side, bit that side. Leaving a gap in the middle. There's your little bubble. Very careful with them. Okay. And just sort of taking your time. See? Almost there, really. We can add a little bit, see, just to there. We've got enough graphite on the pencil. So these ones, we're just going to touch those little bits of pencil. Okay. You see, just touching it gently. There you go. And then, of course, we've got this little swirl here that we've got to fill out. This little bit here. And then, of course, this section here. So that's our shading done, at least the first layer, if that's what you want to do anyway. I'm just going to bring in my white pencil, as we know. So, working on these little stripes first, I'm just going to add a little bit of a stripe down the middle of each of those. There you are. See, nothing crazy. It's not really got to be completely sharp. I'm not going to blend that. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to sort of bring it down as a little bit of a zigzag, you see? Straight over the white, over the black, all the way down to the bottom. So whether you want to start at the bottom and work your way up, it's entirely up to you. But I'm just going to, I find it easy to sort of get smaller as I'm going. This one we've got to imagine where it's going to start there. Way down. And this one. And of course, if you're on a different coloured tile, you can do a little bit more shading. You can use your white pencil to add a few more of the highlights, and you know, bring those white bits a bit more to the front. But I'm on a regular tile here, so it's only going to work so far on the darkness. All right, there you go. I think that's my last one of those. Now, just to finalise, I'm just going to bring my regular pen in. All right, I'm just going to pull it down a little. Hang on a second. It doesn't want to zoom today. There we go. So I'm just going to come back around. You see where we did this little aura and we've shaded there? I'm just going to add a bit more thickness to that there. So I'm not pressing on at all. I'm just going back over it. There we go. And then this one. See, just over the top there. And then here I'm going to just make sure that's neat. So add a bit of weight to that one. Over there. Okay, this one. And this one. Alright, I'm going to also, I think, just add a little bit around that bubble. Okay, let's have a look at it. Here we go. Okay, so if we think about this a little bit there, we've got quite a lot going on in there. Goodness me, it's lovely, isn't it? Look how this really stands out. And then you've got sort of layers of other things going on. I think you see where I've got this sort of swirl here. I'm just going to touch a little bit of shading just on the inside there. And just there, there's enough graphite on your tortillon and of course all the way around it that you can just add a little bit. Just going to take that off a touch. Love that. And then we talked about a little accent of colour, didn't we? If you want to do that, if you want to touch a little bit of colour in, we've talked about gel pens before, but I've got a little bit of pencil here. Just going to bring in a little bit of red. And it's about what you want to sort of stand out. So I'm going to just add a touch of red just over the top of that pencil there. And then I'm going to do the same just sort of on these bubbles here. There you go. So I'm not filling the whole thing in. You see, I'm just adding that little bit. All right. So we added a couple of little bubbles there, didn't we? Again, just a little bit. All right. And I think, let's have a look. Do like that. That's lovely, isn't it? Just that little hint. So let's just add a touch. You know, I'm not colouring the whole thing in. See, I'm just adding a touch to that swirl. And then, of course, we did do another there. Now, there's a lot more graphite on that, so you're not going to see it as much, but there we go. So, love that. Now, that's just with one coloured pencil, so I've not looked at colouring them specifically or really heavy or anything like that. It's just one coloured pencil just to add a little bit, and because the shadow's already there, you don't need to do any more with it. Goodness me, it's busy down there today, isn't it? All right, so there we go. That is our tile. Goodness me, we've done a lot in there, haven't we? 185. Just got to put a signature in. that's I don't know which way to go. I'm going to put there. All right, all yours. So have a little bit of fun with that, and I will see you at 12 o'clock on Friday. Remember, not 2, 12 o'clock. So let me see how you get on with this one. Let's see the different colours. Oh, I did promise you, didn't I, before we disappear? Here we go. This is a coloured version I've done. You see it's a little bit different. There we go. But you can see that we get lots of different things going on there. So you've got 2 versions. So, all right. Sorry, Isabel. Dog's barking. But there you go. Have fun with it. And I'll see you all being well, as I say, on Friday. So take care, everybody. See you soon.